Hello, world. We are back. And this is the Healing Chefs podcast. I am Ryan, aka Crownson's Corner, aka the Healing Chef, aka the Healing Chef. I go by all sorts of different things. These are just names. But Healing Chefs podcast is a podcast all about natural healing, mental health, and just trying to help each other out. Also, talk about the things that aren't so easily talked about. But chef comes from the word chief meaning leader. Everybody that I have on here is a leader in their own way. Today's chef is Celenise of, is it Modern Moodwell or is it?
Yeah, you got it. Moodwell is the brand. My page on Instagram is Mommy's Modern Cannabis, or Moms for Wellness, Moms for Modern Wellness.
Hell yeah. Go moms. You all have
Yeah.
you all have one. If you don't, I don't know. You're test tube baby. I still have a mom. All right. So before we jump into any segments, could you go ahead and I know you just kind of said the brands and stuff. Could you tell people about a little bit about what you do and everything, and then we'll get into your personal journey.
Yeah, cool. So I'm Celenise. I'm with Moodwell. I am the founder of Moodwell. And what we do is we provide caregivers that are struggling with burnout practical wellness solutions. So that's what we're all about, just helping caregivers move forward in their caregiving journey and be their best self to help others.
Heck yeah! Shout out to you and all of that because man, anything helping people out nowadays that's what brings me joy. I don't even care about any like money anything anymore. But awesome. So thank you very much for making it all the way from New York City. Every time I say New York City, all I think of is the old El Paso, or the salsa or whatever it was. He's like, this was made in New York City.
I remember that.
Thank you. Now I don't. Yeah, awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is cannabis journey. Walk through the- All right, so cannabis journey is all about like how you found cannabis yourself and where you're at with it now. I always tell everybody that I started with the bricks and the seeds and the stems and everything, and then eventually educated myself into all sorts of different things, especially like the healing properties with like RSO and whatnot. So what is your cannabis journey?
Yeah, so I think like most teenagers in New York City, first tried cannabis at somewhere around school with a group of friends, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed how I felt. I thought that it really helped me think and feel more clearly, and to be able to think with clarity. And it really helped me relieve that anxiety from such a young age. And I always considered myself a recreational user until the pandemic hit. And that's when I think I was faced with a different type of reality. And I think most people feel that same way about the pandemic. But for me, I was no longer hiding in the car crying after work or on the way to work. I didn't have that safe space to just kind of be with myself. And I found it really hard to caregive during that time. And
Mm,
so I started to experiment with different types of strains of cannabis. I found that sativa strains kind of made me feel a little bit more anxious. I started experimenting with strains that leaned a little bit more heavily on the indica. And I kind of found that soft spot or that right spot for me, in terms of helping me just kind of treat that anxiety. So, I think I started off as a recreational user, and then just once I really found that healing journey, that's when I started to learn more about it. I took the initiative to take a certification course to learn how to use cannabis to heal myself. And it's just been going from there. So just learning to find the right strains for myself, and also the ways that I like to enjoy cannabis. I don't always want to smoke, so sometimes I'll enjoy an edible. or I'll make my own edibles. I love to have cannabis in teas. I love it in honeys, agaves, and all types of different tinctures. So really just finding what I enjoy, and really it's just been such a wonderful healing journey for me.
Heck yes. Maybe soon, like you and I can talk. We can like put together a little like recipe or something for people to like make at home so they can medicate and enjoy it too. Um, Appreciate that. With you said so you flower edibles and stuff. Now I don't know in Arizona. I don't know much about the New York City scene, but cannabis or concentrates, I'm sorry, are a big thing, and that can also be, especially I've seen in the mom areas, be looked down upon a little bit because of some of the tools that you have to use, i.e., the rigs and whatnot. But people like yourself are making it more acceptable and different ways to consume and stuff. So, do you guys have a lot of like a big concentrate, maybe following
Yeah,
or
I
any?
actually love that you bring that up. I went last September to an event called A Dabber is Born, and it is female owned brands that are teaching other females how to dab, how to use the rigs, how to make it less intimidating. And I love it. I dab once in a while here and there, or I'll use concentrates here and there. My preferred method is flour, but there is definitely a large concentrate community that is growing here in the city, and it's really cool to see that a lot of women are getting involved. Like, I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Any way that we can feature women, especially in cannabis and all this kind of stuff, is great. And yeah, knocking out the scariness of it is awesome. And I like having the new perspectives into cannabis. So like we all grew up saying, well, what if this was like legalized and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't like some people out there kind of mad at different things at different groups that are now part of cannabis and stuff. And I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous. You guys were just wanting everybody to smoke a joint and the world would be better. But now that everyone's smoking a joint, you're like, it's not bad. Like, stop. There's room for everybody. But I'm glad that there's definitely people out there helping out the moms and stuff. Shout out mom. Shout out to my mom. She doesn't smoke, but I don't know. You could. Like, I don't know. It's not her. But yeah, I really wish though there would have been a lot more education in the past because I have people in my family and stuff that I think I could have helped, especially with like RSO, Rick Simpson oil and stuff like that. What do you use? Is cannabis part of your day to day in your business, or is it just in a um, more of a personal aspect?
Yeah, a little bit of both. For my business, as far as that goes, I do a lot of advocacy work for cannabis. My
Mhm.
product have CBD in it, not THC certified yet, but I hope to be in the future to be able to create edibles that have THC in them.
Okay, the
But
Moodwell.
yeah, and that's with
Yeah. Okay.
Moodwell.
My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do have products that do contain cannabis, and I also do cannabis coaching. So I do teach. So a large portion of my clients are caregivers that are trying to um, kind of transition out of like the wine and the drinking and those types of
Mhm.
ways to relax and transition into to cannabis for a method of relaxation. So that's been really really interesting to meet a lot of really great people that are looking to shift that mindset and to use something different.
Yeah, and that's a dope thing. And you guys have all sorts of, I'm sure, companies and whatnot. One thing that's going on here in Arizona is something that maybe you guys look into. I just don't know, but they're starting a discussion in regards to micro licenses and farmer markets for some of the people that grow at home to actually be able to do that. And then another thing that they've tried to do out here, which I think is ultimately failed, is the licensing, and trying to let less fortunate people get towards these goals, but it's been misused here. Do you guys have some of those like things starting to break loose in New York, or
Yes, we have a lot of programs. We also have a social equity program as well.
that's the word I
And
was looking for? I just couldn't.
yeah,
Yeah, the social.
yeah, in the beginning, it's been rocky. I have to say it's been rocky. I've seen a lot of my peers lose a lot of money, kind of being held in a limbo.
Yeah,
Positions in social equity licensing, where some folks felt like it was unfair to the other clients or the other people that identify as social equity applicants. They didn't see themselves reflected in the application, so it was like a lot of controversy, and it was really really bad for a while. I think now we're starting to see things kind of develop into a better climate, so to speak. I think things are getting a little bit better, but we definitely had a lot of issues in the beginning. But I do see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of people are now finally getting their letters, and now we're seeing the addition of home growers and different micro licenses that are being launched by the Cannabis Control Board.
I love that because that's what will end up pushing the industry itself is not just people growing. It's the education of the people that are growing and the people that are around them that helps educate in regards to any consumer product, especially those that we're ingesting. And like so, yeah, the social equity stuff has kind of failed here, but you know, don't we have to fall on our face to figure out how to get back up? Um, I just hope I feel like as a people we're starting to wake up more and more. So I feel that all these different things, all these aspects, we're kind of pushing them. It's sometimes we feel like it's about to break, and then it just comes all the way back. And we just got to keep pushing for it. And you just got to keep
Yeah.
give up any ground. So keep your guys' head up. Now, do you have any favorite strains? Now I ask these people. I ask a lot of people this. They're like, I like it all. Like, look, I love weed. I love it all. I just want to know if there's something special that you like.
Yeah, I love Hindu Kush. I love Durban Poison. I recently tried Alaska Thunderfuck for the first
Oh.
time, and oh my God, yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
I love that. I love the old school strains. That's something that I'm going to end up doing here. If anybody wants to follow along the journey, it's from locals only on IG. Uh, um, I will partner with different people and stuff like that, but I'm going to grow, and there's nothing for profit. I'm not selling anything. I'm gonna grow some stuff. We're gonna make hash, and if you see me, I'm gonna hand stuff out. If you're part of the podcast and stuff, I'm gonna get stuff out to people. But um, yeah, all those older school strains. I'm gonna have DJ Short Blueberry. I'm gonna have Tropicana cookies. I have. I really want. You said Kush. I really want a real good Master Kush
Hmm.
or Purple Kush, Hindu Kush, any of that stuff. I love it. Awesome. Do you have anything else you wanted to add to cannabis?
No, I think I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and jump into the next segment, which is Trip Tales. All right. Trip Tales is all about psychedelic experiences, news, and all that kind of stuff. Do you have any yourself? And also, I tell people now that you said edibles, large dose edibles are like riding the same rails as psychedelics. But yeah, do you have anything?
I have clients that have had like some pretty crazy stories that they've shared with me.
Okay, I'll share it away if you feel like.
Um, Yeah, I've had someone that said that they had like an outer body experience from a very high dose cannabis edible. And this was a client that was looking to get back into using edibles,
Mhm.
but they were really scared because of that experience. So they told me that they felt like they were being abducted by aliens, and they were just like in a whole other place, and I thought that that was just wild. I had never experienced that myself, and I hadn't heard anyone else that experienced something like that. So I thought that was really 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 outstanding.
Okay, first off, I need to know who they are, what they took, and how do I get
That's what I want. I was like, are you still in touch with that dealer? Because I would really
I'll
like
be
to try that. They told me that it was like some type of nerd rope that they had that made them feel that way.
Yeah, that's oh my god. So yeah, I've seen all them kind of things. People like I feel like a lot of the nerds ropes and all those kind of things, those have all been sprayed. Do you know? And by that, uh,
Mhm.
they take the THC and in sprayers and spray the stuff down instead of actually infusing it. With that is all sorts of contaminations, and then sometimes they have like fake terpenes and stuff in there, and all sorts of stuff.
Mhm.
So I strongly don't suggest that, but and because you may end up um, uh, being abducted by aliens. That's probably but yeah, it's crazy. I myself, with the cannabis and stuff, I've had some deep uh, trips and psychedelic, but more so, I choose to do that kind of stuff with like shrooms. I really
Yeah.
like the LSD myself because it doesn't mess with my stomach as much. And from there, especially with Veterans Day coming up, it's really big now
Mhm.
with psychedelics to help our PTSD. If anybody's looking to get into any of that stuff and figure it out and have maybe a guide, I can help you. I've done so many psychedelics. I feel like I should get a badge. um, but it's all about finding what works for you. And sometimes you can even have psychedelic trips by even working out and pushing yourself beyond. Um, but
Yeah.
do do you feel with like I brought up in the last episode that with the likes of RFK Jr. speaking about different like mental health things and all these new health things that he's going to go after. Do you think New York will be able to embrace that kind of um, change that we're looking at in regards to people's like, especially with psychedelic therapy? Is that something that people are talking about in New York, or because in Arizona, like psychedelic therapy is like a very big topic of discussion. I just don't know.
I think that would definitely be the next step for New York. I think once we're kind of settled into the cannabis conversation, I think that would definitely be something that that would be like the next big movement for sure.
Okay.
I definitely, for me personally, I've definitely seen like a big shift in New York to focus on wellness, which is really such a welcome change. So I think that they would be open to it at some time.
Nice. Yeah. The the smaller step into it is the microdosing that people do and so on and so forth. I even want to eventually do some sort of like um workout thing with all this kind of psychedelics and stuff like that. But that's pushing it a little bit further. Um, so do you have anything else you want to add with the psychedelics, the trip tales, or anything? All right, we'll go ahead and jump into the next segment, which is probably going to take up most of our time. Is the mental health is wealth coming up here? Let it
Mhm.
on your brain. Awesome. So, mental health, me being a veteran is a huge thing. PTSD, everyone's dealing with that. I think everyone has some sort of PTSD, and not neither. Well, neither. your body doesn't differentiate in between traumas. So when people say, I haven't been through the things you've been through, well, yeah, I haven't been through the things you have been through. So, and there's no competition. Um, with mental health, especially, I like to talk to people and ask, do you have any coping mechanisms that you want to like share with people that maybe help them out and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I practice every day is Reiki. I love Reiki healing, so much so that I became a certified practitioner earlier this summer. I actually just had two clients this morning, and I love Reiki. I feel like being able to take that moment to clear your chakras and to reset your energy is so vital. Something else that I practice daily is also journaling. I'm really big on journaling and just aligning my goals for the week, for the day, and just tapping in with myself. So those small practices, I've really seen myself really grow over the past year, just practicing these things more consistently into my day to day.
Awesome. And with cannabis, psychedelics, all this stuff, we're looking at health and working out, all that kind of thing. Um, with where
Yeah.
do you see um, cannabis, mental health, all that stuff intertwining and with because you work with moms a lot, obviously. How do you see that helping out the moms and stuff that for the longest time, even when I was the guy, I had moms coming to me. I even had one lady try to pay me in a check. Um, I was like, "Ma'am, I gotta deposit this. Like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work." But we all learn. So, but can you speak on which I don't think I've said enough on the things that you do for women and the growth that you've seen in the community for women, as I'm a man and I don't really get to experience all that.
Yeah, there are a lot of mom smoking clubs that have popped up throughout New York, throughout LA. Has a really big movement. So I've seen a lot of that programming now shift over to the East Coast, which is really exciting.
Heck
I've been
yeah.
able to go to a lot of Canadiva events. They're a really big network here in New York, really aimed to educate women, moms, on the different benefits of cannabis. So they have a huge following. Their network and the different programming that they provide is really, I think, crucial to moms. I think their stuff is amazing. There's high yoga out here in New York too, which is really cool. And
Well,
she incorporates cannabis into yoga. So she'll do a optionally lit session. So you can light up during the session, light up during, after, before, however you feel comfortable, and practice yoga together in a safe environment, which I absolutely love. So
I
there's definitely a lot of really cool programs out here.
That's dope. I'm not allowed to do that because I'd be like, "Oh, check this out. I just learned something. Pull my finger. It's a yoga move." I'd be
My
like,
daughter does that to me all day long. Just all day. She's
it's
12 and she's like, any chance she gets, hey mom, did you pull my finger? Can you pull my finger?
I learned this. I
Yeah.
learned this in yoga. Check it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, but no, that's great. I'm glad that
Amazing.
everyone's incorporating it into their own lives and stuff like that. I want to touch on something you said, something about the pandemic, and yeah, that shifted a lot of people's reality,
Yeah.
and we're all now focusing more on ourselves, other than work and pleasure. I mean, obviously pleasure comes, but like we were also focused on I gotta go to work just to do this, and then I'm gonna be off and I'm gonna get pleasure. Then I'm back and then we kind of just pause and we're like, wait a minute. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm glad that everyone's starting to wake up. I'm glad that the mom scene is getting bigger in New York because it's fairly big here in Arizona, but still it's a long way to go. They deal with constant like people being infighting and anything, but infighting, the all sorts of stuff, and I just think they need to like stop with the whole um, cannabis being mothers and their ability to do anything. They need to stop that shit.
Yeah.
Because like, and I don't want to get on this male man women shit, but like men get away with so much fucking shit, and then you're gonna roast the moms. Like, stop. I grew up being raised by women. We all need to like respect each other, which is easier said than done. But awesome. And is there anything else you wanted to add to the mental health aspect of the show? Or
Yeah, I think that I really love everything that you said about trauma, right? And how your body can't really differentiate between the types of trauma. And I think that um, a lot of people really downplay postpartum depression, and we end up not having conversations about it. Women don't find that they have a safe place to talk about it, and I really feel like, you hit the nail on the head with that, right? We need to recognize all trauma as trauma. Just because someone went through something different than you did, it doesn't downplay anything that they went through. So I love that you said that. So for me, it's just really been about finding safe places for moms. And if I can't find it, then just creating that safe place myself, because I feel like it's just so important for us.
well, I'll tell you, everybody in New York, if you need any can of mom stuff out here, there's a actually, if you go on IG, it's called Canna Moms with a Z. She has her own podcast. She was on here. That's a good person to tap in with out here. And I guess if you're in New York, tap in with Celenise. But yeah, I think the more that the women and the like moms and stuff gather together, talk together, and work together, it's obviously going to get better for them. And if those of us that look like me, who always been the loud weed, all that kind of guy, can also support, I think it would be even better. I think we all just need to like support each other. Nobody like, people also need to be okay with people doing better than them.
Yeah.
There's so
Yep.
many times people try to like, they help each other, but it gets to a certain point where maybe that person's going to outdo you, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't want it," and like, and then they reel back like, "No, I, if you can do better than me, please do it." Like, I'm just here to do something. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
awesome. We'll go ahead and jump into the little bit last segment, which is like promo talk, or just basically anything else you want to talk about. And all right. And so plug talk is usually, plug Moodwell, whatever you want to plug, anything that you got going on, promote yourself, promote anybody. Now's your chance.
Cool. Yeah, so definitely want to kindly ask everyone to follow me over on Mommy's Modern Cannabis, as well as my business account, moodwell.us, over on Instagram. Feel free to subscribe to the newsletter. That's the best way to stay in the know on all the hot products that we have coming out, as well as a lot of the education. So every week with the newsletter, I send out a different blog post about different topics. Right now, we're getting into the holiday season, so there's going to be a lot of different resources available to anyone that is dealing with grief, stress, anxiety, burnout during the holidays. It's really important to really take care of yourself during this time, especially as you're taking care of other people. Lots of expectations that come with the holidays. So really just want to help people stay supported during that time. If you are in New York, I would love to offer you my Reiki services as well. I also offer these really fun tea mixing workshop experiences where I set up different herbs and I make customized blends for you to take home. So those are really, really fun. I've been getting a lot of traction with those. So I would love to host a tea mixing event with you in the future for anyone that's out here in New York.
Dope. Heck yeah. Tap in, like she said. And hell yeah, I may have to like talk to you in regards to some of those like mixes and stuff that you got going on. And or maybe we can get some sort of thing going out here for you, get a little more maybe put your products or something at one of those mom get-togethers or something. We'll figure it out.
Thank
We'll
you.
network. Well, yeah, heck yeah. Network together, help each other out. Awesome. Anybody else you want to shout out before we go?
Yeah, definitely want to shout out the Canna Diva. They are doing amazing work out here in New York. So if you are not already following them, please do. Again, they're a network of women, powerful women in the cannabis industry, working together to educate everyone on the benefits of cannabis. So they are definitely a group that you want to follow.
Heck yeah. Awesome. We'll definitely go follow all of that, check that stuff out. If you want to be on a podcast, go ahead and check out habarientertainment.com if you're in Arizona. I guess you could do it virtual too, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to Moodwell. I'm very happy that you made it. And I think we'll continue to talk and I'll be able to work with you and hopefully more moms and stuff like that along the way. And we'll get Arizona to New York network going and so on and so forth. But thank you again. I want to shout out to all people that helped me out and sponsors and stuff like that. High Vibrations, AZ, Earth Rhythm, Fuego Family Farms. I can never say it right. Growing Passion, Young Buck, Lemonade Cookies, all them out there. Santa Cruz, Revelry that just came by, Old Pal, VariEntertainment.com, all this stuff. Celenise at Moodwell. Thank you very much. Everybody in New York, shout out to you. Thank you very much. Tap in, smoke up, trip out. With love and compassion, we'll find our way. From the battlefield to a brighter day. With love and compassion, we'll find